Thank you. I was looking at the clock, and I see we're about halfway through, so I just want to begin to jump into a new area. I'm just going to do a couple of questions on the legislative environment, and in particularly, of course, money in politics. George Clooney recently hosted a big fundraiser for the DNC. In an interview on CNN, Mr. Clooney responded to a question about money in politics by saying that the amount of money in politics is obscene. Quote, "It's ridiculous that we should have this kind of money in politics." I agree completely. That was his answer. Do you agree? I'll start with you, Mr. Gallagher.
Is it a yes or no, or do you want a minute on this?
Well, you can yes or
okay.
no?
No, I mean, it's a corrosive influence, there's no question. Just the whole, I mean, in this presidential race we had 20-some candidates, billions of dollars were spent by dozens of people. That's crazy. Billions of dollars by dozens of people. It's not hundreds of thousands of people, it's dozens of people. And so we need, New York has instituted public financing, we need an answer that doesn't involve just, if one of us could find a happy billionaire who would bankroll us, we could do whatever we wanted. It's crazy. It's a crazy system. And it's also a crazy system in its infiniteness. People are going to start running for president at the end of this year, for 2020. So we need some rules to change the way the game's played, if you ask me. And I think the only recourse is congressional action. So yes, the money is obscene.
All right, Ambassador Cook.
Okay, I'm called now. Thank you. Campaign reform needs to happen across the board on the presidential level, but even on the congressional level. We have to file each quarter, and the media begins to look at those who had the top three, brought in the top three monies. So we have to look at campaign reform across the board, because what ends up happening is, instead of spending time with our constituents, we're trying to milk grassroots people from every dime they have so that we can file a report that is decent. What we have to do is reform it all. It's disgusting the way it exists now on the presidential, on the congressional, and on most of the levels. We have to have campaign reform in terms of finance.
All right, Mr. Powell.
Yes, I've heard that United States senators have to spend an average of 2 hours a day just on the phone raising money. So if they miss a day, they have to spend 4 hours the next day. I think it's outrageous. It really takes away from being able to keep in touch with our constituents, from being able to address the issues that are important. Yes, money in politics has gotten way, way out of control. Fortunately, the city council at least, or actually the municipal elections, from mayor on down, borough president, city council, has a very decent program. I've participated. But in the end, I think the only thing that will cure this evil is public financing. That is, if you make the ballot for Congress, you get $500,000, period. If you make the ballot for a state assembly seat, you get $100,000, period. That way it's an even, level playing field, and nobody's above anybody. You literally have to discuss the issues and see who's better. I know that takes away from taxpayer dollars, but it's the only way in which we will have a true participatory democracy that is not controlled by the rich people and the rich interests.
All right, thank you. Mr. Linares, Assemblyman.
I believe that we need desperately campaign reform at the federal level. I think we need to have a constitutional amendment to really eliminate the decision of the Supreme Court creating super PACs, which is a pervasive way of injecting money from the 1% to undermine democracy. And I believe that we really have to give back the process to the voters, and we have to take the lead at the federal level, but we also have to be mindful that at state level and municipal level there are also problems. So I believe very strongly in bringing reform by giving back democracy to people.
All right, Mr. Williams.
Yes, I agree there's too much money involved in politics, and I think that the Assemblyman is right that Citizens United ruling had a horrible impact on our overall viability of our political process. And I also believe that Adam is right, that we need to figure out a way to actually level the playing field. And part of doing that is having these campaigns financed, but also making certain that everybody gets a certain amount of airtime also on television so that everyone is competing equally. The other thing I think we need to do with these PACs is if we actually had to disclose who's actually underwriting these super PACs, you would not have as much money going into them, to be quite honest, because people right now can do it and nobody knows who they are, and so they're happy to do it. If they had to disclose it, I think you would see a lot less money going into the super PACs compared to what you see today.